Welcome back to Podcasts with Ali and Aiza, where we help you learn English the fun and natural way, just by listening to us chat about everyday stuff. I'm Ali, and I'm ready to talk about the great outdoors today.
And I'm Aiza. I'm with you, Ali. I feel like I need some fresh air just thinking about our topic. We're leaving the classroom behind and hitting the trail for some English that you can use when you go camping, hiking, or just talk about nature.
That's right. When you hit the trail, it just means you're starting your hike or your walk. And it's a really common, natural phrase to use. So if you're planning a trip this weekend, you might say, we're hitting the trail early tomorrow morning to avoid the heat. See? Super simple.
Exactly. And the inspiration for today's episode comes from a great video about a family trip to a beautiful glacier lake in Canada. It was all about preparing, hiking, and camping. So let's dive into some of that practical vocabulary and conversation you need for an adventure like that, shall we?
Let's do it. First things first. Packing. Before you hit the trail, you have to pack all your gear. When you're preparing for a trip like this, you're not just packing a bag. You're often gathering a whole list of must-have items. The hosts in the video mentioned everything: a backpack, a water bottle, snacks, a tent, hiking boots, a warm jacket, and even a sleeping bag.
Ooh, a warm jacket and a sleeping bag are definitely must-have items if you're camping in Canada. You need to be ready for the cold. When we say must-have, we mean it's absolutely essential. You must have it. It's not optional. You wouldn't want to forget your bear spray, for example. That's a serious must-have for a place with grizzly bears.
Right. Bear spray is a good example of a safety precaution. And talking about preparation, the host in the video said, "We have packed our bear spray." This is a great, simple example of the present perfect tense in action. They packed it in the past, and it's still packed and ready now. You can use this for anything. I have packed my lunch, or she has packed everything she needs. It's an easy way to confirm a completed task.
That's very useful. I also liked all the vocabulary that came up while they were actually hiking. When they saw some birds, they identified them as grouse. That's a specific kind of bird. When you're in nature, people love to use specific names for animals and plants, like a caterpillar, which is another little creature they found and talked about.
The caterpillar conversation was so cute and natural, especially the part where the child wanted to keep it in a terrarium. A terrarium, for our listeners, is like a small enclosed garden or habitat, usually in a glass container for plants or small animals. It's like a mini ecosystem you keep indoors.
And the conversation about what happens next was very natural, too. The parent talked about how the caterpillar would soon make a cocoon and then become a butterfly. This led to a great little family chat about life cycles, which is a perfect time to practice your English. You could say, "Look, it's building its cocoon," or "The butterfly is starting to squeeze out."
Exactly. And while they were hiking, they saw a sign that said something was prohibited. I think it was mushroom picking prohibited. This is a great, formal, official word to learn. If something is prohibited, it means it's strictly not allowed. You'll see this word on signs in parks or public places. It's much stronger than just saying, "You can't do this."
You see it a lot, right? Like swimming prohibited or no fires prohibited. Speaking of which, later in the video, they mentioned a fire ban, which is another key piece of vocabulary. A fire ban means that because of dry weather, it's too risky to light any fires, so it's temporarily prohibited. It's a safety measure, and it's very common when you're camping.
It makes perfect sense. Now, let's talk about a phrase I use all the time, especially when I'm walking fast and trying to keep up with someone. The host said, "Let's go catch up with Za. He's so fast." To catch up means to reach someone who is ahead of you so you can walk together, or to reach the same level as someone.
We also use it for knowledge or news. For example, I need to catch up on the latest episode of that podcast, meaning you need to listen to it to be current. But in the hiking context, it's purely about physically closing the distance. Hurry up, I'm trying to catch up.
And they also had a moment of pure encouragement for the child, which is fantastic English practice. The parent said, "You're doing a great job. You're such a big boy now. You can hike it all by yourself." This type of simple, positive feedback is so important. When you tell someone they are doing a great job, it means you are very impressed with their effort and success.
And calling him a big boy in this context isn't just about his size. It's about his maturity and ability to handle the challenge. It means he's grown up and is capable. It's a very sweet and encouraging phrase. You'll hear things like, "Wow, you ate all your vegetables. You're such a big boy." Or, "You finished your homework all alone. What a big girl." It gives them a real sense of accomplishment.
And the contrast with the past was clear too. The parent remembered, "This hike used to be so much harder with you, Dory. We used to have to carry you most of the way." This is a great lesson in comparing the past and the present. "So much harder" uses the comparative form to stress the difference. And "carry you most of the way" is a perfect chunk of language to describe the physical effort of parenting a young child on a long walk.
It's relatable for so many people. And once they finished the hard part, they needed to find a camping spot. They were trying to pick the perfect camping spot. When you're searching, you might say, "Is this spot flat enough? Or does it have enough shade?" Flat enough means the ground is level, which is essential for a good night's sleep in a tent. Shade is protection from the sun.
And later, when they set up, they mentioned setting up the tent. We used the phrasal verb set up for assembling things like a tent, a camp, or even a meeting. "Let's get set up here" means let's unpack and assemble our camp.
Another very important camping vocabulary related to safety is the food cache. The dad had to take the food to the food cache so the bears don't eat it. A cache is a hiding place or a safe spot for storing things. In a park, a food cache is often a designated secure area. Or sometimes they use a method called bear bagging, where you put the food high up in a tree to keep it away from animals.
Right. The idea is to make sure your food is high up in a tree so the bears can't reach it. And the next morning, there was a funny moment about how they took all that precaution, but one person accidentally left a granola bar in their tent. It's a great example of a simple mistake, but it leads to a great phrase. "I realized I left a granola bar in my bag."
A common everyday phrase. The conversation then shifted to how cold it was, but the child was not bothered by the cold at all. If you are not bothered by something, it means it doesn't annoy you, it doesn't affect you, or you are completely fine with it. You could use it in lots of situations. "I wasn't bothered by the noise," or "she wasn't bothered by his criticism." It's an expression of indifference or tolerance.
That's a great piece of vocabulary. I also noticed that the video ended with the practical term hike out. They said, "Now we have to hike out." If you hike in, you go into the trail or camp. And if you hike out, you're walking back to your car or to the civilization you left behind. It's simply the final walk back to the starting point.
Yes, they were all packed and ready to go. Tent is all packed, bags are all packed. It's another perfect use of the passive tense to describe their ready state. Everything is done. It was a successful camping trip, and they ended it with a family high five, which is a great, simple American English expression for celebration.
Speaking of celebrations, we have covered so much ground and so many practical phrases from that one outdoor adventure. This whole scenario, from the preparation to the hike and the camping, is full of wonderful English you can use every day, not just in the wilderness.
Okay, listeners, it's time for a quick practice section. We want you to try saying some of these key phrases out loud right now, wherever you are. Even if you're not planning a camping trip, you can use these in a lot of different contexts.
That's right. Remember, the best way to improve your English confidence is to practice speaking. So, let's start with a phrase for starting any journey. Hitting the trail. I'll say the sentence, and I want you to repeat it immediately after me. Ready?
Here we go. We are hitting the trail early tomorrow morning.
Good. Now, here's one for telling someone they've done a great job, which is very useful. Repeat this one. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Excellent. And one final super practical phrase that you can use for checking on a task. Packed our bags. You can use this for any completed task, not just travel. Try it.
Yes, we have packed our bags. We are ready to go.
Fantastic! By practicing these phrases out loud, you're not just learning the words, you're training your mouth to use the natural rhythm and intonation of English speakers. Keep practicing them throughout the week.
So, Ollie, what a great episode. We went from packing the essential gear, like hiking boots and bear spray, to being careful about things that are prohibited, like having a fire during a fire ban.
And we learned how to encourage people by telling them they're doing a great job, and how to describe your walk back by saying you're going to hike out. It all flows together so naturally when you put it into a story or a conversation.
It does. And that's our whole goal here at Podcasts with Ollie and Aiza, to show you that English is best learned in context, through stories, conversations, and real-life scenarios, not just from a textbook. We hope you feel more confident about describing your next outdoor adventure, or even just talking about a walk you took in the park.
Remember, just like a child who has to work hard to finish a challenging hike, your English learning journey takes time and effort, but you are absolutely doing a great job. Keep hitting the trail of your studies and you'll see great progress.
Don't forget to check out the links and transcripts for this episode if you want to review all the vocabulary we covered. Thanks for listening, and we'll chat with you again next time.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.